Thank you. Good evening. It's lovely to be here. We've never been here before, this part of Dumfries and Galloway, this part of Scotland, so thanks for being here. And as Alan said, or implied there, I'm a retired teacher and I live in Cornwall, come from Dudley in the West Midlands originally. And one of the joys of retirement is travel, and we travel quite a lot. And we were in the Phi Phi Islands in Thailand. And it was very nice, it was beautiful, but the thing that really annoyed me was all these young people younger than me, which is most people nowadays, incessantly taking selfies of themselves in the most ridiculous poses in the water and all the monuments. So I wrote this in 5 seconds, and it's got one word. It's called Me, Me, Me. It goes to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Please join in when you get the gist. It goes like this. Me, 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 me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And I'd like you to do a bit of brain work. Are you up for a bit of brain work this evening? Because this one requires you to think. And a little bit. So the scenario in this one is that the first letter of every supermarket, well, most supermarkets in Britain, falls off overnight, okay? When the managers go in the morning, they don't know why the first letter's fallen off, but they know they find a law was passed, says that if that letter is dropped, the supermarket has to be repronounced with the letter missing, and all the items in the store have to be repronounced with that letter missing, and all the members of staff that begin with that letter have to be repronounced with that letter missing, okay? So you've got to think of the supermarket, the staff, and the items, okay? The first 2 verses explain the situation again, and then you're in, all right? This is called Missing Letterland. I heard it on the grapevine that each and every supermarket sign last night, for no apparent reason, other than it being the silly season, lost its first letter. I don't know why. I've got an honest face now, would I lie? And now each item and member of staff that begins with that letter, now this really sounds daft, must lose the beginning of their very own name and be repronounced. Yes, I know it's a pain, but they've been thus instructed by the police, so they have to comply or risk breaching the peace. Down at Orison's, they've got Maltesers and Isled Ustard. The anager, Ike, recommends ince pies with custard. His female colleagues, Andy and Arthur, prefer a nice old wine or Armite and Armalade on which to dine. But they are M-less, can't you see, and in dire need of empathy. In Esco, they've got good reason to gripe. They've got Recal, Amatos, Angerines, and Ripe. Reva, the Rolly boy, would dearly wish you bought some oilet issue or tiramisu. You can buy these items in store or online. Well, will someone please return the tea to the sign? The OOP has Christmas ards and anns of oak, hicken breasts and Ellery. It's no joke, they've got arrots and cucumbers and he's and onion risps to pop into the succulent OOP own brand dips. Athy, at the heck out, says they need the sea for the store to get back to normality. I hear the sea also fell into the gutter at their nearby rivals, Ost Utter. The Uzda name sounds odd. Was it an act of God that made the A sway in the wind and descend to the floor of the aforementioned store? With strange smiles, customers hunt the aisles for avocados, pricots, and uvacar. The public think it's gone too far, it's a hopeless case, but with this they are faced until the missing A is finally replaced. The upmarket supermarket has to be Atros. Well, they're selling offals, Eatabix, and Ilja, potatoes. Young Instant Iggins opens a box of spring orta, cleans around with et-ipes, talks to a customer who bought a bottle of washing up liquid, and some all-nut hips, and some frozen edges that taste like chips, and some helks and inkles for a seafood pie. But where's the W gone? I hear him cry. in the local par. They're open 8 till late, but without the S, it's not so great. They've got sausages, strawberry jam, Swiss rolls, Allards, Ardines, and Pam. On the helves, you'll find Avery top cubes, Knickers. Think about that. Wheat, Opes, and Marty tubes. In Ainsbury's, there is Ugger, of course, Having foam, Alarmy, and Oi. Horse. But the first letter is a sadly missed resource in the course of much heartfelt remorse. No one's feeling very merry because, yes, the S is Ness-S-Ery. Maybe the six letters have absconded, met together and meaningfully bonded to find happiness as W-M-A-C-T and S. Morkts, scormt, cormst, are possibilities. But would they have the facilities of a better-known shop where the letter doesn't drop? Of which are you fondest, Aldi or Londis? And what would we do if we lost the middle of Lidl? But it'll probably never happen. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you. Thank you. People said to me, you know, my friends said, what do you do during lockdown? Would you find it a time of great inspiration for writing the lockdown? No, absolutely not. But I wrote this in November 2020, just before the American presidential elections, because one of the candidates was accused of not paying his taxes. And so I looked at a list of all his crimes. It was quite incredible, really. So this is called I Didn't Pay My Taxes. Most of this applies to Boris Johnson, of course, as well. I didn't pay my taxes. I didn't pay my taxes, I didn't pay my dues, I didn't sleep with hookers. It's really all fake news. I didn't cheat on spouses, I didn't collude with Russians. My son-in-law certainly wasn't involved in Moscow-based discussions. I didn't dodge the draft 5 times. I didn't call heroes losers. I had a bone spur in my foot and some very painful bruises. I didn't call Mexicans rapists. I didn't support white supremacists or lie about Obama's birth, though he really is my nemesis. I didn't do sexual misconduct or touch women where I shouldn't. I wouldn't brag about it. No, I really, really wouldn't. I didn't mock disability or try to stop investigations. I didn't appoint my family to represent this nation. I didn't rig the election, and I won't rig it this time. I'm a very stable genius, and I've never committed a crime. I'm not a playground bully or a self-obsessed spoilt brat. I'm a liar who just loves lying and a narcissistic twat. Thank you. Thank you. Tomorrow you may go to church or you may tune into BBC Radio 2 for a program which is really the worst thing you can listen to if you've just come to the end of a relationship or you're feeling sad and alone. It's called Steve Wright's Sunday Love Songs. And I don't know if you get it up here, but I suppose you do. But people write in and say how sickeningly happy they are and annoyingly content with their relationships, you know, and how long they've been together. They have to tell him how bloody marvellous his program is. Great show, Steve. Love the show, Steve. So I was trying to get back at him for years, and I wrote this to get back at him. So this is called Sunday Love Songs, and it's basically 6 rock ballads that Steve Wright would play, joined together with my bits of doggerel, okay? So you sing all the love songs, and I do the bits in between, okay? This is called Sunday Love Songs. Hi there, Steve. Love the show. Please play me a request. I want to dedicate a song to the man I love the best. Dave's been with me for 40 years. I've never had to doubt him. To be perfectly honest with you, Steve, I just couldn't live without him. I can't live if living is without you. Let me sing it. I can't live anymore. These are too young, they don't know it. I really, really love him, Steve, and he loves me just the same. I get a funny feeling every time I hear his name. Dave's stuck with me through thick and thin, through good times and through bad ones. So please play me a rock ballad, Steve, you know, like Bryan Adams. You know it's true, everything I do it for you. Each day Dave makes me without fail my breakfast, lunch and tea. Without him I'd be nothing, Steve, he means the world to me. We very rarely argue, Steve, he's never vile or bitchy. So play me that sentimental song like Hello by Lionel Richie. Well, hello, is it me you're looking Please play me a slow song, Steve, so we can have a smooch. We'll dance and chat around our flat in Ashby Dullar Zooch. Those whom God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. So play me a soul ballad, Steve, you know, like Stevie Wonder. I just called to say I love you, keep it going. I just called to say how much I care. Oh, yes, I do. I just called to say I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. My Dave needs me like I need him. He knows I really care. Bono said 2 hearts beat as one. Well, we're the perfect pair. I listen to the old song, Steve, on my vinyl record player. Sometimes I sing along to that one by Leo Sayer. When I need you, I just close my eyes and I'm with you. And all that I so want to give you is only a heartbeat away. He's my ray of sunshine, he's my cup of tea, he's the icing on the cake, he's every cliche in the book, he's the give in give and take. Dave is the one that gives me hope when my dreams have all been crapped on. I think of him each time I hear that tune by Eric Clapton. And you're wonderful because I see that love light in your eyes, and the wonder of it all is that you just don't realize how much I love you. As a lover, Dave is second to none. He's a one-man sex machine. I've got to hand it to him, Steve, if you know what I mean. So please play me a nice song, Steve. He's loyal, true and brave. He's a smashing bloke who likes a joke. Thanks, Steve. Yours truly, Dave. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is from my most recent book. It's called Earwax. It's not the name of the poem, but there is a poem in there called Earwax. E-A-R-W-H-A-C-K-S, Earwax. And, books on sale out there. My performance material books are £5 each. I've got a new children's book, 7 short stories, and that's £7. But just come and have a look or take a card. Thank you. This is called Reach for the Stars, and it's all about phrases and idioms that don't stand up to scrutiny. Reach for the stars. Reach for the stars unless you're a submariner. Follow your dreams unless they're really scary nightmares. Laughter is the best medicine unless you've got a hernia. Be yourself unless you have a multiple personality. Eat your 5 a day, but not Mars bars. Be positive, say, I can do this, and yes, we can, unless it involves plumbing. Love thy neighbour as thyself, unless you live next door to Piers Morgan. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but Tracy Emin sold her soiled bed for over £2 million. Be an open book, but have a bookmark handy, just in case you lose your place. Value your friends, find out how much you can get for them at an auction. Walk tall unless you have a really low ceiling. Never judge a book by its cover unless it's got the words 50 Shades on it. It'll be shit, believe me. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, unless they hit you first. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Birds of a feather flock together. The early bird catches the worm. Just don't mess with birds. No man is an island, except the Isle of Man. Is the Pope a Catholic? Yes, he is. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. I pleaded with the lion when I worked at Dudley Zoo. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, but so does a journey of 2 steps. Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. It's no use crying over spilt milk. Avoid farms. Rome wasn't built in a day, neither was Milton Keynes. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Red sky in the daytime, nuclear war, no shepherds. Taking the bull by the horns will probably take the wind out of your sails. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, advised the social worker. Truth is stranger than fiction. You just couldn't make that up, could you? Believe in yourself unless you're the Tooth Fairy or Father Christmas. Money can't buy you happiness. Put your money where your mouth is. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money makes the world go round. Money is the root of all evil. Can anybody lend me a fiver? Lightning never strikes the same place twice except on the Catatumbo River in Venezuela, which receives 158 strikes per square kilometre per year. I Googled that to find that one out. The more we learn, the less we know, was Michael Gove's education policy. If you could walk a mile in my shoes, you'd know all about the crack in my soul. And finally, he who laughs last, laughs longest. Ha! Thank you. I bought this mirror in Honiton, the antique capital of East Devon, and that is exactly what it was. My illustrator, Heather Finney from Callington, who illustrates books, it's exactly what it looked like, the distressed paintwork around the outside. And I thought, well, if I've got distressed woodwork around the outside of my mirror, what about the rest of my furniture? What kind of human characteristics and foibles might they have? So this is called Distressed, and at the end of this we sing a snatch of a Beatles song. Please join in. My furniture is all distressed. It's unusually unstable. The oak bookcase is quite depressed, as is the coffee table. The worktop has a thin veneer. It seethes beneath the surface. The taps know how low they can sink. And think life has no purpose. The painted window frame's been stripped of dignity. It's lacquered. The blue front door's morale has dipped. The cheese board is cream crackered. The writing bureau doesn't give a jot. The cupboard suffers mockery. It hates the plates and has no mates. It misuses jugs and the fine-boned china tea set. I couldn't think of a rhyme for that one. The kitchen table's past is stained. The dishwasher has worried. Last week it broke down and explained that it was missing curries. The settle never settles. The new desk is neurotic. The chaise longue is invariably wrong. The sofa is psychotic. The fey buffet is apt to weep. It's covered in wet tissues. The rocking chair will never sleep. The magazine rack has big issues. The bed's always horizontal. The tall boy is a cross-dresser. The umbrella stand is second-hand and feels its worth is lesser. The mirror, which reflects, neglects the fine wine rack, which whines. The shelves themselves lack shelf-respect. The dining table pines. The mantelpiece has no mental peace. It's fired up with wrath. The wood burner has lost its spark. The wardrobe is a goth. The exposed beams aren't what they seem. The ceiling's always plastered. The landing has a manic stare. It's an evil little bastard. The piano's case isn't black and white. The floorboards feel downtrodden. The dressing table's dressed to kill. The minibar is sodden. The ottoman is not a man, but it's no couch potato. The teak footstool's a crazy fool who quotes in Greek from Plato. The blinds feel they're kept in the dark. The door's alarmed. Whenever the curtains talk of hanging, they need to pull themselves together. Yes, my furniture is all distressed, but they've reason for concern. Ha! I must get it off my chest. Tomorrow they will burn. I once had the best furniture, but it got distressed. So I lit a fire. Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to finish now with this. Well, I've got two Scottish poems, so I've got to do them in Scotland. The first one is very, very, very short. And we were camping on the Mull of Kintyre, and I broke my tooth on some granola one morning. So I wrote this. Tony Bennett left his heart in San Francisco, a city named by the Spanish. I didn't leave my heart on the Mull of Kintyre, but I lost my tooth in Machrihanish. And I'm going to finish with this one. This is called, well, basically, I was listening to the radio one day, and the bloke, the weather reader, he said it's 17 in Aberdeen. I thought, hey, yeah, this, thank you. This is my friends from Linlithgow Folk Fest. Big hand for Linlithgow, yay! Where I performed this a few years ago. And so I imagined it. I imagined Aberdeen basking in 17 degrees. And Alan, where are you, Alan? He says he's from Aberdeen. So this is for Alan. And thanks to Alan for everything, and emceeing and everything. And so, yeah, so that's the refrain. But it's 17 in Aberdeen. 1, 2, 3. But it's 17 in Aberdeen. Okay. And I pictured the rest of Scotland having rubbish weather at that time. Oh, it's damp and grey on the River Spey, and it's dark and dank there too. But it's 17 in Aberdeen, and the sky's an azure blue. How cold it feels in Galashiels, and it's blowing quite a hoolie. But it's 17 in Aberdeen, no need to wear a woolly. The fog hangs thick in the town of Wick. It's cloudy in Kirkcaldy, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, where you can tan your body. It's lashing down in Lennoxtown. It's drizzling in Dundee, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and it's the hottest place to be. The waves are tossing in Ardrossan and in the Firth of Tay, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and it's a very lovely day. There's a layer of mist in South Uist. It's below par in Stranraer, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and it's melting all the tar. It's a trifle dull on the Isle of Mull. There are showers up on Skye, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and nobody knows why. There's wind and sleet on Prince's Street, and in Stirling it's cyclonic, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and they're mixing a gin and tonic. There are winter storms in the High Cairngorms, and it's frosty in Cornosty. But it's 17 in Aberdeen, and it's just as warm as toasty. It's brass monkeys around Dumfries. Snow's falling in Falkirk, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and they've taken the day off work. The sun don't shine in Kincardine, much less in Inverness, but it's 17 in Aberdeen. Oh, yes, 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 yes. The weather's poor in Stenhouse Muir, and up on Arthur's Seat, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and they're dancing in bare feet. Few sunny spells on the Campsie Fells, far, far fewer in Forfar. But it's 17 in Aberdeen, so schön, so wunderbar. It's extremely cool in Ullapool, it's gloomy in Glenrothes, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, where they're taking off their clothes. They've chilblained hands in Preston Pans, and it's vile up in Argyll, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and the city is one big smile. There's a belt of rain across Dunblane and an air of trepidation, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and there's no precipitation. The lochs are frozen south of Oban. They're throwing snowballs in the goreballs. But it's 17 in Aberdeen, where cricketers are bowling no balls. It's rough on the Clyde and in East Kilbride, and it's dire on the Mull of Kintyre, but it's 17 in Aberdeen. What more could they desire? There's no sign of sun in Livingston, and it's Spartan in Dumbarton, but it's 17 in Aberdeen, and that celebration's starting. The floods run deep in Cowdenbeath, though shallower in Alloa, but it's 17 in Aberdeen with a warm Hawaiian aloha. There's a small typhoon blowing through Dunoon. There's a dearth of mirth in Perth. But it's 17 in Aberdeen, and you can see it on Google Earth. There's some concern today in Nairn. There's a hard gale in Ardguy, but it's 17 in Aberdeen. That is all I have to say. Yes, it's 17 in Aberdeen, and they're bursting into song. Aye, it's 17 in Aberdeen, but it will not be for long. Thank you.